There comes a moment in life when you realize that nothing outside of you has ever truly held the power. Not the economy, not other people, not your past, not your circumstances. The power has always been hidden in two simple words: I am. Every day, without even noticing it, you are declaring who you are. You are defining your limits or your freedom. You are choosing lack or abundance. You are choosing fear or confidence. And life faithfully obeys the identity you claim. But what if today, right now, you decided to ask, I am, in a completely different way? What if instead of describing your problems, you began defining your power? Tonight, you are not here to wish. You are not here to beg. You are here to remember who you are. Because the moment you consciously choose what follows, I am, your world begins to change. Listen carefully, not just with your ears, but with your awareness. There is only one creative center in your world, and it is not outside of you. It is not hidden in circumstances, nor locked inside other people's decisions. It is not determined by luck, background, or timing. The creative center of your entire experience is your identity. The quiet, persistent concept you hold of yourself. Who you believe yourself to be is the blueprint from which your world is built. You may think that events create identity. You may believe that because something happened, you became a certain kind of person. But this is an illusion. It is identity that creates events. The outer world is not the cause, it is the effect. The visible is only the shadow of the invisible assumption you carry within. If you repeatedly say, I am not good enough, life will organize itself to prove that statement true. If you quietly assume, I am always overlooked, you will find situations where you are ignored, not because the world is against you, but because it faithfully mirrors the state you occupy. Reality does not argue with your self-concept. It reflects it. Your identity is not just what you say out loud. It is what you feel to be true about yourself when no one is watching. It is the silent inner conversation that runs throughout your day. It is the emotional tone you return to again and again. That feeling of being, whether confident or insecure, blessed or burdened, chosen or rejected, becomes the foundation of your life experience. Most people try to change their world without changing themselves. They attempt to fix circumstances while remaining the same person internally. They chase opportunities, relationships, and achievements, hoping these will finally make them feel different. But nothing external can permanently alter a state of being. If you feel unworthy, even success will feel temporary. If you feel unloved, even affection will feel uncertain. The world cannot consistently give you what contradicts your identity. To change your reality, you must change who you are being. This does not mean changing your personality. It means shifting your self-concept. It means asking yourself, who would I be if my desire were already fulfilled? How would I think? How would I walk? How would I react? What would feel natural to me? If you desire abundance, you must begin to see yourself as someone for whom abundance is normal. Not forced, not imagined with strain, but accepted as natural. If you desire love, you must begin to feel like someone who is deeply worthy of devotion, not desperate, not hoping, but secure. Identity is not built in a single dramatic moment. It is formed through repetition, through consistent inner statements, through persistent feeling. Each time you declare something about yourself, you strengthen that identity. Each time you react from insecurity, you reinforce it. Each time you return to confidence, you solidify that instead. The beautiful truth is that identity is flexible. It is not fixed. You were not born with limitation attached to you. You may have accepted certain ideas about yourself along the way, but anything accepted can be replaced. Begin gently. Choose a new concept of yourself, something higher, something aligned with the life you desire. Then start living from it internally. When doubt appears, do not fight it. Simply return to your chosen identity. When circumstances seem unchanged, do not be discouraged. Remember that the outer world lags behind the inner shift. The moment you consistently feel like the person who already has what you desire, your reality must reorganize. Opportunities will feel drawn to you. People will respond differently. Decisions will unfold naturally, not by force, but by alignment. You are not trying to manipulate the world. You are selecting a version of yourself. There are countless versions of you available right now. The confident one, the wealthy one, the loved one, the successful one, the peaceful one. Each exists as a possibility. And the one you experience is determined by the identity you claim. So be mindful of the words you attach to yourself. Guard your inner conversation. Refuse to define yourself by temporary appearances. Instead, define yourself by conscious choice. Because identity is not something you discover. It is something you decide. And once you decide who you are and persist in that decision, reality has no option but to agree. There is a profound difference between wanting something and being the one who already has it. Most people live in the state of wanting. They hope. They pray. They visualize occasionally. They speak positively when they remember. But beneath it all, they are still waiting. Waiting implies separation. Waiting affirms that the desire is somewhere in the future. And what you place in the future remains there. To assume the wish fulfilled means to shift from wanting to being. It is not about forcing belief. It is not about pretending in a superficial way. It is about entering the state of the person who already possesses what you desire and dwelling there inwardly. The outer world may not yet reflect it, but inwardly you no longer feel incomplete. When you truly assume the wish fulfilled, you stop asking, when will it happen? Instead, you begin to ask, how would I feel if it were already done? That feeling becomes your dwelling place. That emotional state becomes your new home. If you desire financial abundance, imagine the quiet relief of bills paid, the calm assurance of stability, the natural confidence of having more than enough. Do not imagine the process. Imagine the result. Feel the security. Feel the gratitude. Feel the normalcy of it. Let it become familiar. If you desire love, do not dwell on finding someone. Dwell on being cherished. Feel the warmth of companionship. Feel the comfort of knowing you are chosen. Feel the ease of being valued. That feeling is the fulfillment. The mind may argue. It may say, but it is not here yet. Understand that the outer world is simply a delayed reflection of former states. It shows you what you have previously assumed. If you change the assumption and persist, the reflection must change in time. Assuming the wish fulfilled is an act of inner acceptance. You are accepting the desire as a present fact in consciousness before it becomes a visible fact in the world. And consciousness is the only true reality. What you consistently occupy in imagination eventually expresses itself in form. Many people think they must feel intense excitement for their desire to manifest, but fulfillment often feels calm, natural, ordinary. When something truly belongs to you, it does not feel dramatic, it feels normal. That is the secret. Make your desire feel normal. If wealth feels distant and extraordinary, it remains distant. If love feels rare and miraculous, it feels fragile. But when you assume it as natural, as something that simply belongs in your life, resistance dissolves. The key is persistence. You may assume the wish fulfilled tonight and wake up tomorrow to the same circumstances. Do not be discouraged. The outer world does not change instantly because it is rearranging itself according to your new state. Your task is not to check for evidence. Your task is to remain faithful to the inner reality. Each time doubt arises, return to the feeling of fulfillment. Each time fear appears, gently remind yourself that it is already done in consciousness. Each time impatience surfaces, rest in the quiet, knowing that what you are being inwardly must express outwardly. You are not creating something from nothing. You are selecting a reality that already exists as a possibility. By assuming it inwardly, you align yourself with it. And what you are aligned with, you experience. Do not overcomplicate this. Close your eyes and ask yourself, if this desire were fulfilled right now, How would I feel? Then allow that feeling to rise within you. Stay there for a few moments. Let it imprint upon your awareness. Do this consistently, not as effort, but as enjoyment. Let the fulfilled state become sweeter than the longing. Let it become more real than the absence. In time, the line between imagination and reality dissolves. What was once felt inwardly appears outwardly. Not because you forced it, not because you chased it, but because you assumed it. And what you truly assume, with feeling, with persistence, with quiet certainty, hardens into fact. So stop wishing, stop waiting, stop wondering how. Instead, assume. Live inwardly from the end. Walk through your days as the one who already is. Speak from fulfillment, react from completion, think from possession. Because the moment you fully accept the wish as fulfilled within, the world begins moving to reflect what you have already claimed. The world you see is not independent of you. It is not a separate force acting upon you without your consent. It is a mirror, a living, moving reflection of your inner state. Every experience, every interaction, every pattern that repeats itself carries the imprint of what you have been conscious of being. Most people live as though the mirror has power. They look at circumstances and allow what they see to define how they feel. If the bank account is low, they feel insecure. If someone withdraws affection, they feel rejected. If an opportunity closes, they feel unlucky. In doing so, they accept the reflection as the cause. But a mirror does not create, it reflects. If you stand before a mirror and frown, the image frowns back. You do not attempt to fix the reflection by touching the glass. You change your expression. The same principle governs life. The outer world faithfully reflects your dominant assumptions, beliefs, and emotional states. To attempt to change appearances without changing consciousness is like arguing with the mirror. When you understand that the world is a mirror, you stop reacting blindly. Instead, you begin observing. If a pattern of rejection appears, you ask, where within me have I been accepting rejection as part of my identity? If financial struggle repeats, you gently examine, have I been feeling scarce, unworthy, or doubtful of stability? Not as self-blame, but as self-awareness. The mirror is not punishing you. It is revealing you to yourself. Every relationship mirrors your assumptions about love and worthiness. Every career experience mirrors your concept of value and capability. Even your physical environment reflects your inner sense of order, harmony, or chaos. Nothing appears randomly. It aligns with your state of being. This realization is not meant to create fear. It is meant to restore power. If the world is a mirror, then you are not a victim of circumstances. You are the source of them. And what is reflected can be changed, not by force, but by transformation within. The difficulty for many is persistence. They attempt to shift inwardly, but when the outer world shows no immediate change, they return to old reactions. They see delay and assume failure. They see obstacles and assume defeat. In that moment, they reinforce the very state they are trying to leave. Remember, the outer world reflects past states. It is yesterday's consciousness made visible. If you have just changed inwardly, give the mirror time to adjust. Do not let old reflections pull you back into old identities. Instead, when you encounter an unwanted circumstance, pause. Rather than reacting emotionally, ask yourself, who would I be if this were already resolved? How would I respond if I knew everything was unfolding perfectly? Then choose that response, not because the world deserves it, but because your new identity does. As you persist, something remarkable happens. The mirror begins to shift. People who once resisted you soften. Situations that felt blocked open naturally. Coincidences appear. Doors align. It may seem mysterious, but it is simply the reflection adjusting to your new state. You do not need to control others. You do not need to manipulate outcomes. When you change the assumption you hold about yourself and your world, the behavior of others changes in response. They are responding to the role you have unconsciously assigned them. If you believe people are supportive, you will find support. If you assume life is working in your favor, events will confirm it. If you feel chosen, you will experience recognition. The mirror has no choice but to comply. Guard your inner conversations carefully. Those quiet thoughts about how life treats you are instructions to the mirror. If you repeatedly think, nothing ever works out for me, life must reflect that belief. If instead you begin affirming, everything aligns for me, the reflection must eventually match it. Do not be discouraged by temporary appearances. They are only shadows of former states. Stand firm in the new image you hold within. See yourself as secure, successful, loved, and capable. Feel it, accept it, return to it whenever doubt arises. The mirror will catch up, because the outer world has no independent creativity of its own. It borrows its form from you. It moves according to your assumptions. It reflects what you consistently embody. Change the face before the mirror, and the reflection must change. And once you understand this deeply, you will never again fear what you see. You will simply know that if something appears out of harmony, the solution is not outside. It is within. There is a force within you more powerful than effort, stronger than strategy, and more effective than endless action. It is not found in struggle. It is not activated through pressure. It does not respond to desperation. This force is feeling. Not fleeting emotion, but the deep inner conviction of being. Thoughts begin the process, but feeling completes it. You may repeat affirmations all day long, but if beneath the words you feel doubt, fear, or lack, the feeling overrides the language. Words are symbols. Feeling is reality. The world does not respond to what you mechanically say. It responds to what you inwardly accept as true. When you understand that feeling is the creative power, you stop trying to force belief. Instead, you begin cultivating inner experience. You ask yourself, what would it feel like if my desire were already fulfilled? And you allow that feeling to rise gently within you. If you desire success, what does success feel like? It feels secure. It feels natural. It feels steady. It does not feel anxious or frantic. If you desire love, what does love fulfilled feel like? It feels chosen. It feels warm. It feels safe. It does not feel desperate or uncertain. If you desire abundance, what does abundance feel like? It feels relaxed. It feels trusting. It feels open. It does not feel tense or worried. This feeling, when sustained, becomes your state of being. Many people mistake emotion for feeling. They try to generate excitement or intensity, thinking that strong emotion accelerates results. But true creative feeling is often calm and quiet. When something is truly yours, it does not create chaos inside you. It creates peace. Think of something you already possess. Your name, for example. You do not feel excited about it. You simply know it is yours. That quiet certainty is the feeling you must cultivate toward your desire. The challenge arises when the outer world contradicts your new feeling. You may assume abundance, but see bills. You may assume love, but experience silence. In that moment, you are tempted to abandon the inner state and return to reaction. But creative power lies in remaining faithful to the feeling regardless of appearances. Feeling must precede evidence. You are not waiting for the world to convince you. You are convincing yourself first. And when your inner conviction becomes stable, the outer world reorganizes to match it. This is why persistence is essential. You must repeatedly return to the feeling of fulfillment until it becomes natural. At first, it may feel unfamiliar. That is only because you have practiced the old feeling for so long. You have rehearsed lack. You have memorized insecurity. You have become accustomed to doubt. Now you are choosing something new. Do not condemn yourself if the old feeling resurfaces. Simply observe it and gently replace it. If fear appears, pause and ask, what would I feel if I knew everything was working out perfectly? Then allow that feeling to take its place. If impatience arises, ask, how would I feel if it were already done? Then settle into that state. Your inner atmosphere determines your outer climate. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. And what you are is determined by the feeling you consistently occupy. When you wake in the morning, notice your emotional baseline. Is it heavy? Is it rushed? Is it doubtful? Before you engage with the world, take a moment to shift it. Breathe deeply. Imagine your desire fulfilled. Feel the relief. Feel the gratitude. Feel the naturalness. Carry that feeling into your day. As you walk, walk from fulfillment. As you speak, speak from completion. As you decide, decide from certainty. The more you embody the feeling, the less effort you need to exert. Action taken from fulfillment is aligned. Action taken from lack is forced. Over time, something beautiful happens. The feeling becomes dominant. It becomes your new normal. And when it feels normal, manifestation is inevitable. The unseen responds to feeling because feeling is acceptance. When you feel something to be true, you have accepted it as part of your identity. And once accepted, it must express. So do not focus only on changing thoughts. Go deeper. Change the feeling beneath them. Choose the state of relief. Choose the state of confidence. Choose the state of gratitude. Choose the state of completion. And remain there, because feeling is not just part of the process. It is the process. And when you master your feeling, you master your world. There is a moment after you choose a new identity, when nothing seems to change. You have decided who you are. You have felt the wish fulfilled. You have shifted your inner conversation. Yet the outer world appears the same. This is the testing ground, not a test from life, but a test of your own consistency. Persistence is the bridge between assumption and manifestation. Anyone can feel powerful for a moment. Anyone can declare a new identity when inspired. But the one who experiences transformation is the one who remains faithful to that identity when there is no visible evidence. When you choose a new state, abundance, love, success, confidence, you are stepping into unfamiliar territory. The old state will try to pull you back, not because it has power, but because it has momentum. You have practiced it. You have rehearsed it. You have identified with it for years. Now you are interrupting that pattern. At first, the old thoughts will return. Old reactions will surface. You may feel doubt whispering, "This is not working." You may feel impatience asking, "Why has nothing changed?" This is where most people surrender. They check the mirror too quickly and decide the inner shift failed. But creation does not respond to impatience. It responds to consistency. Imagine planting a seed. You would not dig it up every day to check if it has grown. You would water it, protect it, and trust the unseen process beneath the soil. In the same way, when you assume a new state, you must protect it from constant inspection. Let it take root in silence. Persistence does not mean struggle. It does not mean forcing yourself to believe something with tension. It means gently returning to your chosen state whenever you drift. It means refusing to emotionally invest in appearances that contradict your decision. If you have chosen to see yourself as successful, persist in that identity when challenges arise. Respond as the successful version of you would respond. Think as that version would think. Feel as that version would feel. Not because circumstances justify it, but because you have decided it. If you have chosen to see yourself as loved, persist in that state even when someone behaves coldly. Do not collapse into old insecurity. Instead, remain anchored in the feeling of being valued and chosen. Let others adjust to your new assumption. Persistence is not loud. It is quiet determination. It is waking up each day and reaffirming, "This is who I am." It is refusing to narrate your life from the old identity. It is catching negative inner conversations and replacing them. It is standing firm when doubt tries to re-enter. At first, this may require awareness. You may need to consciously redirect your thoughts. But over time, the new state becomes easier. The feeling becomes familiar. The identity begins to feel natural. And when it feels natural, manifestation accelerates. Time does not defeat persistence. Doubt does. If you remain faithful to your assumption longer, then you remain impressed by appearances. Reality must conform. It has no choice. The outer world cannot indefinitely resist a stable inner state. It will reorganize, shift, and align in ways you could not predict. There may be moments when nothing seems to move. In those moments, remember that movement often occurs beneath the surface. Conversations you have not heard, opportunities forming, paths rearranging. The unseen is active even when the visible is still. Do not measure progress by what you see. Measure it by who you are being. Ask yourself daily, am I returning to my chosen state? Am I reacting from old fear or responding from new identity? Am I persisting in fulfillment or slipping back into longing? Every time you return to your chosen state, you strengthen it. Every time you refuse to identify with the old story, you weaken it. Eventually, the new state dominates. It becomes your baseline. And once it becomes your baseline, it expresses effortlessly. Persistence is loyalty to your own decision. You decided who you are. You accepted the wish fulfilled. You shifted your feeling. Now remain there, not for a day, not for a week, but until it feels so natural that you cannot imagine being anything else. And when that happens, the world will reflect your persistence with undeniable evidence, because what you consistently assume and refuse to abandon must harden into fact. Stay faithful, stay steady, remain in the state, and let reality catch up to who you have chosen to be. Now you understand, life was never something to chase. It was something to assume. The version of you who is successful already exists. The version of you who is loved already exists. The version of you who is wealthy, confident, secure, and fulfilled already exists. The only question left is this: will you claim it? From this moment forward, guard the words "I am" as sacred. Do not attach them to fear. Do not attach them to doubt. Do not attach them to limitation. Attach them only to the identity you choose to embody. When doubt appears, return to your chosen state. When circumstances challenge you, return to your assumption. When time seems slow, remain unmoved, because what you persist in being must become visible. Stand firm in your new identity. Walk as though it is done. Feel as though it is finished. And watch how reality rearranges itself around the one who knows. I am. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing awareness. Thank you for choosing your higher identity. If this message resonated with you, take a quiet moment today to consciously declare who you are becoming. Carry it with you. Live from it. Persist in it. And if this inspired you, share it with someone who is ready to remember their power. You are not waiting for your life to begin. It begins the moment you say, I am.